It's time for the parent memoirs.
You know what I did one time?
You know how mad I was? I still haven't obviously straightened them all out.
So, you know how they would do like the Campbell soup lids or the Campbell soup
Labels
for the kids' schools. So one time Grandma Marnie was like, yeah, you can have all the labels, just mark on the thing in the permanent marker what it is. So on top of every can I wrote like bat stew, and fucking toenails, and all kinds of stuff. But on the bottom I wrote like cream of chicken, you know. But I did it on all of them, and she was like, "God damn it! I was trying to find some cream of mushroom soup, and all I could find was like bat toes and swamp ass water." And I was like. I know I
fantastic.
sat on her kitchen floor for like an hour just thinking of names to call like gross shit.
Oh boy.
That is like a perfect lead-in starting the show. So welcome to an episode of the Parent Memoirs. I'm Larmac.
I'm Jessica James.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
So we are back, and we have plans. We have plans going forward that we have discussed, but in the meantime, before those plans are put into motion over the next few months,
Yes.
we're still going to record and just kind of whenever we can, and we'll fill you in on our plans going forward.
Yes.
But that needs some more percolating and some organizing.
Percolating.
Okay, so we're going to dive right into it. So Jessica messaged me and said she had a story of neighborhood hoodlums that we learned Jessica does not know how to spell hoodlums.
They're called hoodlums.
She's like hoodlums. I tried to search in my messages because she couldn't remember what I was talking about. I only remembered that she messaged me saying that she had a hoodlum story. So
Actually, they were hoodlums. That makes it even worse.
So I tried to just do a search in my Facebook Messenger for hoodlum. Nothing came up, but I know she messaged it to me. I was like, wait, how do you spell hoodlums? And then she spelled it.
See, so you couldn't spell it either.
No, I spelled it right, but it didn't come up with
After
anything in
I
the
spelled
search.
it wrong. So I
still-
intrigued your brain to spell it
Maybe
correctly.
she spelled it H-U-D.
No, she spelled it H-O.
DDLUMS.
Oh, okay. She
That's
did
not how you
spell
spell
it.
hoodlums. But anyway, point being, sorry, I had to throw in. We're back.
I love you.
We're back for the first time in a while. We had to kick off with a Jessica moment.
That's
Are you
fine.
kidding me?
That's
Okay.
fine.
So, what is your hoodlum story? I'm so curious.
So, all right. So at some point last year, we apparently went from like no kids on our block to a swarm of kids on our block, which is great because the kids always want to be outside playing. They have people to talk to, you know, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah. I would love it if there were more kids in the neighborhood. Like, we have one kid next door, and that's it.
Right. So, but these little buttholes that live on my street are a bunch of entitled little bastards.
Really?
Like, they drive me bonkers, and I feel like I'm becoming like the old bitch at the end of the street who's always yelling at kids to get off her fucking grass and to not zoom their bikes through my cars in the driveway and, you know, and all this shit.
Why are they going in your driveway?
Because they apparently think that they own everything.
Because, I mean, I grew up in the
No.
70s and 80s, and we used to be outside
Right.
from dusk till dawn.
Right.
Or from dawn to dusk, whatever.
But it was known.
But you stayed,
Yeah.
like you were either in the street or you were on the sidewalk. You went into somebody's driveway. Like if I was your friend, I would go in your driveway and then take my bike and my happy ass on.
Right.
And that was it. Or you rode in your own driveway. You don't go in somebody else's driveway.
Right. You
No.
stay out of other people's property and, you know, you're respectful. And I feel like a lot of these kids just have no knowledge of this concept of being respectful to other people's property.
No.
And so I have issues constantly with kids just going into my garage and taking out toys and stuff, like not when it's not like if it's closed, but like if my kids are out and they're playing and our garage door is open and these are other kids that my kids are playing, they'll just go in there and take out a bike or, you know, a skateboard. And I'm like,
First of all, stranger danger. Has nobody ever taught these kids you don't just walk? Because walking into somebody's garage is essentially walking into their home.
right?
God only knows. What if they walk into the wrong person's like?
Right, a little John Wayne Gacy or some shit like that. And nobody ever sees you again.
I need to get a clown costume.
Maybe
that'll
the
do it.
clown thing going on. Come here, kids. I got some candy. What the
Right.
Right.
fuck?
And so and I've had to tell these kids, and there's one little boy in particular, I've had to tell him, look, you don't go in my garage. I'm like, first of all, the stuff in there doesn't belong to you. Even if my kids tell you, oh, you can go get that toy, don't do it because it's not your area to be in. And I was like, and my garage is filthy right now. There's so much stuff in there that you can get hurt on that you have no business being in there. And they just look at me like I'm this asshole from outer space that they've never encountered before.
Because nobody's ever told them no.
Right. Not.
And
Of course not.
this one little boy, he'll go in there. He went into the garage to try to get a bike. I'm like, what are you doing in my garage? Oh, well, I want to ride this bike. No, it's not yours. And I've asked you before to stay out of my garage.
So wait, they're not even playing with your kids?
No, they are. They'll be playing with my kids, but it's they don't have their own stuff out to play on. So they just
Come over to your house. They're like, oh, well,
here's a bike that's not being used. Because, we have a plethora of bikes in our garage, unfortunately. But some of them are broken. Some of them have had, parts taken off of them to repair other bikes. Some of them don't have brakes.
Oh my God. Could you imagine stealing a bike that has no brakes?
Right?
Jesus Christ.
It's ridiculous.
That's karma.
Right. And so I told him, I'm like, you can't just come in here and take stuff.
No.
And I was like, don't you have your own bike? Well, my dad said that I can't have it right now because it's put away. And I was like, well, I'm sorry that your dad said that, but that's not my problem. Stay out of my garage.
You know what it reminds? I remember when one of my first apartments over at Quail Lake, I paid for covered parking, right? And there's this guy that had moved in, in the apartment above me, that for the first few days after he moved in, he would park in my covered spot.
Yeah.
Now I pay for that.
Yeah.
Right. And the first few days he had a truck, and the first few days he was clearly moving in, and it was raining a lot. I give him that. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? You don't want to unpack your crap.
Right.
Fine, whatever. I let it slide for a couple days. And then he was just parking there all the time. And it was no, this is, and then I thought, well, maybe there's some confusion. Maybe he paid for it. Because I know the spot next to mine hadn't been used as a paid spot for a little bit. So I thought maybe there's just confusion. He thinks that that's his spot, right? Or whatever. But there was somebody parked in that spot and had been for a few weeks. So I didn't know. So I see him one day and I'm like, hey, sir, I live in the apartment below you, but you've been parking in my spot. And I was just seriously polite about it, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, he was this older guy who just looked at me and was like, well, that person's parked in my spot.
Well, take it up with them. Get out of my fucking spot.
And I just kind of looked at him. I said, okay, so if he stole your car, would you think it would be okay to just steal my car? How does that, because that's essentially what you're doing.
Right.
This logic does not get out of my fucking spot or I'm going to have you towed, which I can do.
Right.
So, okay. It was another week it went on, but I didn't really care all that much. I was giving him a little leeway. Finally, I had his car fucking towed.
Good.
And he was and I left notes. I said, sir, I will call and have your car towed if you do not move. And he wouldn't move. So finally I had it fucking towed. I was like, there you go. And he fucking flipped out, came coming downstairs, banging on my door. And I was like, I spoke to him through the door. I was like, can I help you?
Right.
He was like, did you have my fucking car towed? I said, I don't know, sir. My spot is now my spot again. That's all I know. Take it up with management.
Yeah.
Right.
And I refused to answer the door. Oh my God, he was such a dick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
People are so entitled, and then it runs down to their kids.
Yeah. Always. My kids are constantly coming over. Can I go have a play date with so-and-so? I'm like, you're having a play date outside right now. Why do you need to make an arrangement to go inside their house? I don't want you in their house because you're just going to sit on your ass and not be active. You're going to go in their house, watch TV, play video games, whatever.
Mm-hmm. The point is right now,
it's
activity.
nice out. Go outside and play. You don't need a play date. Play dates are for kids who don't get chances to see each other.
Right.
Yeah, play dates are more for little
for
ones.
TJ and your girl.
Right, because
That's a play date.
Right.
Play dates are for my
Because
grandson.
we live 30
and-
minutes away.
Right.
Yeah,
Like-
play dates are for my grandson and my friend's son, who's
Right.
my friend's grandbaby. You know,
Right.
But
So
TJ
they-
and Bradlin, who lives next door,
They
they
don't
don't
need a
have
fucking
play
play
dates.
date.
They
Play
just
go outside and
Play.
fucking play.
Right.
go
And
jump on the
like,
trampoline, have a grand old time.
so in this one particular family, so there's, I guess, 3 kids. There's a girl I would say is maybe like a little bit older than Olivia, so maybe like 11 or 12. And then a boy who is Amelia's age, so 8. And then another little girl who can't be more than like 4 or 5. And that little girl's just always all over the neighborhood. Now, granted, there's a lot of other kids outside, but I never
Still.
see her parents outside. And then the little boy, and they come and just like hang out on the little covered area by my front porch where the cement and everything is. And I went out there one day and there's chocolate smeared like all over the cement. And there's like these nasty, dirty baby wipes everywhere. And so I go out there. I'm like, okay, first of all, why are you guys right outside my door? And
On my
second of
property,
all,
on my porch.
yeah, I was like, second of all, what the hell is this mess? And the older girl was like, oh, well, that's my sister's. And she just refused to clean it up. And I looked at her and I said, how old are you? And she was like, oh, 11 or whatever. And I was like, and how old's your sister? Oh, well, she's like 4 or 5 or whatever. And I was like, so who's the responsible one here? If
Right.
you're her older sister
Yeah.
and you're messing around with other people's property, I don't give a shit what your little sister says. You need to clean up after her and don't bring your shit to my house anymore.
Right.
It's kind of like an
And go get your
unspoken-
mom. Go get your fucking mom.
Yeah.
Go
It's
get your
kinda like
fucking
an
mom.
unspoken thing, I feel. It's not even unspoken. It's kind of just, well, I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't know. I've lost myself in the analogy. I apologize. But
Well, no,
as the older sibling,
You're
It
supposed
is
to take
your
care
responsibility.
of the smaller one. Like that's
Yeah.
how we grew up.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times my little brother DJ would take off 4 years between us.
Yeah.
Right. And I was probably 10 or 11, so that would make him 6 or 7. And DJ would get on his fucking bike when we lived in Fort Leonard Wood,
yeah.
and he would get on his bike and just leave. And my
Ginger?
mom and dad would be like, where's your brother? I don't know. He's your
Ginger?
kid.
Right.
And I would have to go find him. I'm walking around Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri at 11 looking for my brother. One time he ran down a hill with a stick and stabbed himself.
Oh, my God.
Like, I mean, but I had to go find him.
Right.
see,
You
and
know?
Ginger, same thing.
Yeah.
On Fort Irwin, I had to babysit her, and she would just disappear.
Yeah.
And I would spend, especially during the summer when I was watching her and my parents were both working.
Right.
Oh, Joy was not working.
Yep.
Joy was sitting in the house.
Oh, no. My
in the air
situation is,
conditioner.
like, mom was, she worked in housekeeping.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. My dad was in the army. They would go to work every day. Okay, fine. And I would be responsible for keeping track of Ginger. And she would just drive off on her bike, not tell me where she was
Yeah.
going. And then I would spend my entire summer day wandering around Fort Irwin, California in 9 million degree heat.
Yeah.
Because it's a mile from Death Valley.
That's like Satan's butt crack.
It
Yeah.
really is. It's the worst. Oh my God. Winter's beautiful.
Right.
Summer, just kill me now.
Yes.
Okay. But I would have to wander around Fort Irwin looking for my sister because
Yeah.
I knew I would get in trouble if I lost her.
Right.
Or if she made a mess. It
Yeah.
was my responsibility as the older sibling.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I was always, my mom and dad would be like, well, why didn't you keep an eye on him? Because he's not my kid. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't
and
have
would
the
get
sex
so
to
mad,
make
but-
him.
Right. I would get so mad, but back then you didn't smart off to your parents
Right.
like that. But that was like the first thing I wanted to say. Well, he's not my son. He's your kid. He's not mine.
Right.
But I would just and I would go find his
Yeah.
little dumbass.
Yeah, I'll usually wait because it's summertime. I'll wait until like 8:00 at night or something to bring them in so they can shower and get ready for bed. So I'll open the door and I'll find them and be like, hey guys, it's time to come in. Why do they got to go in? Because I said so.
Why are you questioning me, you little shit? Go get your mom.
Who the
You know
fuck are-
what? I don't
Thank
like
you.
these
So-
little kids.
You need to say, go get your mother.
Go get your mother.
Go get your mom.
I've had some conversations with the parents. I don't think the parents are any better.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Like
well, then, you know what? If you're going to abdicate responsibility of parenting your children, and they're going to come over and destroy my shit,
I'm going to send you a bill every month.
right?
I'm going to send you a bill, but also I'm going to parent your kid.
Yeah.
And I'll parent them how I see fucking fit.
Right. If that means somebody gets a whack, somebody gets a whack.
Thank you.
So
Like-
I was at the Loaf and Jug by my house, and I kind of live in the hood, right? And so I was at the Loaf and Jug, and there was these 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl. And one of them was stilling. And the lady that works in the Loaf and Jug was like, put that back, get out of my store. Fuck you, you fat old bitch. Da, 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 da. Just yelling and screaming.
With
and
their parent right there?
no, the parents were not there.
Oh, God.
Fuck you. Anybody stole none of your fucking shit? Da, 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 da. Just yelling and everything else. And I was like, hey, that's very disrespectful. Don't do that. We all saw him steal it.
Right.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, fuck you, you little Walmart bitch. Everything. Excuse me. First off, not a bitch and fucking thing I have on my body is from Walmart.
That's number 1. And number two,
you disrespectful little bitch. Here, how about this? You tell your mom to get off her knees at the crack house and come over here to the Loaf and Jug. I'll be at pump 5. Getting my gas.
First of all, it costs a lot of money to look this cheap.
Right.
That's what I would have said. That's a
Right.
famous Dolly Parton quote. It takes a lot of money to look this cheap.
Right.
Fuck off. That's number 1. And number 2, go get your mama.
Go get your mom.
So, did I ever tell you guys? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I didn't ever tell you, but I don't know if I told you about the little boys that were throwing rocks at cars driving down the street one day.
No.
No? I don't know how I would have told her, but not told you. So, all right. And Fountain, it's a small little town for the most part. So, I was driving down the street going towards Santa Fe to go to the highway.
Okay.
And I was driving down and there's these little townhome buildings. And this one day I was driving down the street and these 2 little boys they had to be 10 years old or maybe a little bit younger, were standing on the sidewalk throwing rocks at cars as they were driving by.
That's dangerous.
And so I'm approaching.
How
these
big
2
are these rocks?
I don't know, maybe golf ball size because they're like landscaping rocks.
Yeah. You know what?
Dangerous.
Right.
I'll tell you whenever she's done. I'll tell you what happened to me with these little
So
bastards.
I saw them doing this, and I get closer to them, and I see them looking at me, and I shake my head, and I say, "You better not even fucking think about it." And so they don't because they see me, and I watch them in my rearview mirror, and they flip me off. So there's no traffic around me. I slammed on my brakes, threw it into reverse, backed up, and I rolled down my window and I said, look, you 2 little boys, you're asking for a shit ton of trouble. I suggest you go inside and find something else to do before you throw a rock at the wrong car.
And you get murdered.
Right.
Because some road rage person,
Right?
somebody who's super into their car, will get out and murder you.
After we
Right.
had that last snow, that real heavy one.
Yeah.
So I was on my way to work, and the street I would take is around the corner to get onto Powers so that I can get to the airport, right? And there's some townhouses over there, and they have those little places etched out where they have those rocks and stuff. And there was 4 or 5 little kids standing there, and they were covered in that heavy ass snow.
Yeah.
And they were picking up those rocks and chucking them
Yeah.
at people's cars. And so I saw them doing this. And so I rolled down my window and was staring at them whenever I went by. And then whenever I went by, they threw a rock. So, flipped a bitch in the middle of the street.
Good.
Went around the corner. They all took off. And I was like, come here. You were bad throwing fucking rocks at my car. What if I would have wrecked? Let's go find your mom and see if she can pay for the damages that you're doing to people's cars because you little bastards are throwing rocks at. Fuck you, bitch. Oh, fuck me? Fuck you. I followed those little bastards all around. They were running all over the place. Oh, I'll get you.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
be late to work. I don't fucking care. I will get you. I'll put you in my car and take you to your house and beat your ass because I've gone over to children's
On your
houses
front
before.
lawn in front of your mom.
Right, because I've gone over to children's houses before whenever those little girls were bullying Sophia.
Yeah.
And I went over to that little girl's house, and her mom snatched her by her hair and beat the shit out of her in the living room because they were sending Sophia those mean-ass
Yeah.
messages. And that little girl, her mom put her out of the house. Call your dad. Get out of my house. Call your dad right now. Get out of my house. There's some parents
Yeah.
that will take care of it.
Right.
But there are other parents
I'd be like,
that,
"Fuck
as
you."
long as they're out of my hair, who
Right.
cares?
Yeah.
They're not bothering me. Fuck off.
Okay, so Tanya, you had a story from a picture you sent us that was fucking funny as hell.
So let me tell you about a couple of weeks ago. I'm sitting there, and I get So Avery has taken on a new position where he travels 5 days a week.
Oh, okay.
He's working for a company that contracts for CDOT.
Oh, okay.
And they fix all of and build all the guardrails on the highways in Colorado. So Hannah's home with the baby all week long. And she takes one day a week and she does the laundry and all this stuff. So I get this picture and she's like, I was doing laundry and Avery's pants felt kind of heavy on one side. His shorts felt kind of heavy on one side. And I stuck my hand in here and this is what I found. Thankfully, she had enough sense to grab something to pull it out with because she didn't know what it was. And
I didn't know what it was for a hot minute when you sent me the picture.
Right. So she grabbed a sock. She just grabbed a sock and reached into the Avery's pant pocket and pulled it out, and it was a giant apple fritter bear claw donut.
This boy is 24 years old.
25.
25. And he stuck essentially a donut.
A donut in his fucking pocket.
And forgot about it.
And so I was like, what? Is that a fucking donut? She was like, yeah, dude.
Dude.
I was like, what? She was like, I don't even fucking know. She was like, I was doing laundry. She was like, and normally I don't check his pockets. I just, whatever happens.
Yeah,
that's on
my
him.
rule.
Yeah, you know? She was like, fuck it. I don't have
Whatever
time.
happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was like, but this pocket felt heavy. So I grabbed a sock, put my hand in there with the sock, pulled it out, and that's what it was. And that was the picture.
Right.
You can see like the sock or whatever it is in her hand with the giant donut. So I said, I'm so sorry. I promise you, I raised him better than this.
Right.
I am so fucking sorry. She was like, what did she say? She sent me a text and was like, I don't even know how that even happens. Like, how do you forget a whole ass donut?
No. We're forgetting the base question.
Why'd you put it there to begin with?
Thank you.
Right.
Why did you think a donut was going to survive in your pocket?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Apple fritters, they're pretty, they're
pretty
kind of sturdy.
Yeah, so
For
she
your
said,
pocket during your construction job?
I didn't say it was a smart idea.
I'm just
Maybe
a little
it was
flabbergasted by that part of the story.
Maybe it was the end of the day. He was getting ready to head home, and he happened to walk past a box of donuts, and he was like, oh, I'm going to save this for later.
No. She said, I said, it's a good thing you look in his pockets, LOL. She said, I usually don't, but his shorts felt heavy. And I was like, what the fuck is that? She said, and it was all stuck to the inside and shit.
Could you imagine?
She said, why the fuck would you even put a donut in your pocket? I don't get it. I was like,
could you imagine? Okay, here's my thing. Could you imagine the inside of the washing machine?
Oh, God.
yeah.
Because I hate to in case somebody out there isn't aware of this little tidbit of information, let Auntie Laura educate you. There's not a garbage disposal component
Nope.
in a washing machine.
Right.
So I'm not sure how much of it would have been dissolved.
Right.
How much apple fritter nonsense.
And they don't have a washer and dryer in their house, so they have to go to the laundromat.
Oh
so
my God.
Imagine she would have had to repay to get all, and how many times is it going to take to get all that shit off of the clothes and everything else. I mean,
Y'all don't see I have my face covered.
Yeah.
Just the thought of this.
And you know, she's got her clothes, Avery's clothes, the baby's clothes. They all would have been walking around donuted up because, so this just goes to show everybody your children never fucking grow up.
Right.
They never fucking grow up. Never. I
There
just
you
don't.
go.
Last night, I left the house for 20 minutes. I had Sophia watch the baby because I kept him last night. I was gone 20 fucking minutes.
Oh, no.
20 minutes. Mind you, I had already gotten dinner for everybody earlier in the night. I get home. There's a pizza person at my door. And I was like, can I help you? She was like, yeah, I'm here to deliver the pizza. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, Sophia ordered a pizza. Are you fucking serious? You just ate, and now you two, it's 11:30 at night, and you two ordered 2 pizzas, some hot wings, some breadsticks, and sodas.
Shut the fuck up.
To eat.
That's...
Just
that is not
quick.
an 11 o'clock at night meal.
She does all the time. I'll wake up sometime in the morning. There'll be IHOP sitting on the counter.
See, that's the difference between people in their 20s and people in their 40s.
Right?
We're like, no.
Well, I could see it happening 20 years ago in my life before kids.
But I know my metabolism right now. I can't eat that much food before bed.
I try not to eat after 6.
Yeah,
I'm like a gremlin.
We're like, no.
I can't eat after 6 o'clock.
Don't feed Jessica after dark.
Yeah. There's no eating. There's absolutely no carbs after like
Yeah.
at a certain point during the day.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
There's no sodas. There's
Coffee.
and I can't eat meat, so the chicken wings are out of the question. And then, I mean, so
They ordered that much. They ordered that much food for 2 people.
yes, they do all the time.
Pizza, breadsticks, wings.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, 2 pizzas.
So Mike likes to tease me a lot because he's like, all right, you already want to be in bed at like 7. You want to eat at like 5 o'clock at night. What the hell are you going to be like when you're old?
You know what?
Like, I don't know.
George asked the exact same question.
So
like,
I'm about to be 50, and I have noticed this last year that I'm like, okay, I'll get up at 4:30 in the morning and clean the entire house up.
Me too.
And start dinner.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day, I'm taking little cat naps throughout the fucking day, and then I'll have a snack, and then I'll have dinner ready by like 4 o'clock. Like right now, I have a chicken in my oven.
Yeah.
that's a dream life when you get older. It really is.
Right. And me and David just hang out. Like he's doing yard work, and then he's going to a drag show later on.
Yeah.
He's really finding all his gayness now in his 50s.
Good.
Which
I'm
is
glad,
about time.
right?
Better
but-
late than never.
Right.
He should have been like,
Right. He went to Pride for the first time this year.
Yeah.
He's got some gay friends.
Did he go to Pride a couple weekends ago?
No, he went to the one in Denver.
Is he finally going to tell you if he gets a boyfriend?
Yes, and that's part of it too. And he's
Because he's never ever.
Yeah, he's just not, So now he's so it's just funny kind of watching him. He's like one of my kids too, because I have to pick up after him like a fucking 9-year-old
I
every day.
understand.
And it's my brother. And you would think I really got gypped on the gay brother too, because
He's not clean.
he's not like, he doesn't
Tidy.
want to get facials. He doesn't want to fucking go shopping. The one thing I can get him to do that he really digs now is getting pedicures.
Yeah.
So he will go get a pedicure with me, but he won't do shit else.
Can he watch trashy reality shows with you?
No, he doesn't watch that. He wants to watch football. He'll watch a football game from a year ago. And I'm just like, you already saw it. You know how it fucking ends, dummy.
Be like, look, bitch, let me introduce you to Selling Sunset.
Right. No, he's not going to watch any of that. He's not going to watch any of that. So, yeah. So I really
Jessica's
got...
anti-Selling Sunset. And
I just saw the trailer and I was like, fuck.
I know, but me and
that.
Tanya are just...
I don't think
love
Christine's
it.
coming back this year.
Thank God.
Or this next season.
Thank
season.
God.
I hate
Let
her.
her go.
She's this
Let
girl
her
is like
go.
Satan, and Jeffree Star had a baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Threw it in some fucking Balenciagas and sent it on its way.
Oh, she's so gross.
She's so disgusting.
I don't even want to give her any time.
All right.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
have one other little topic if we have time for another segue.
Yeah.
And maybe Tanya can, be of assistance with me on this
So
one.
if y'all don't know, I'm a lot older than these bitches. And my kids are, not a
older.
lot, but my kids are like a lot more grown up than their kids.
Yeah.
So, so I've been around the block.
There you go.
In my first rodeo.
So my little Olivia,
Okay.
so she's 10, she's growing, she's whatever. She's getting a little pudgy and it's starting to bother her.
Okay.
But she has just this insatiable appetite for sweets and just food in general. So she'll have these moments to where she'll go and try on a pair of pants and they won't buckle over her belly and she'll just break down and start crying. But then at dinner time, if I'm not paying attention to her, she's the one if Susie makes a bowl of queso and everybody has walked away from the table, she's sitting there with the serving spoon just dumping the cheese into her mouth. And so I've been having this conversation with her, when I had the queso experience, I'm like, okay, please understand that I'm not having this conversation with you to hurt your feelings. Please understand there's nothing wrong with you. I was like, but when you get upset about your pants not fitting you, this situation here might be contributing to that.
There's nothing wrong with pointing that out to your child. And if
No,
anybody,
not
if
at
we get
all.
one fucking message saying that it's not, I'm going to just block you.
Well,
Just so you know.
because you didn't body shame her.
No.
You didn't fat shame her. You didn't eat shame
You
her.
didn't do what my grandma Kitty did, which is tell my mom that she should buy me pants 2 sizes too small so
Right.
that when I'm sitting in class in school, I'll realize how fat I
Well-
am and not eat.
Right. And I've been big my whole life. And this is, I've lost a lot of weight, but not as, but I've always been big. And
Right.
I come from a huge family
Right.
that's super country. Everything is fried tossed in gravy and
Butter.
butter and grits and everything else, right?
And gravy is the sacrament.
Right. It's the holy
Right.
fucking grail.
Yeah.
And whenever I was younger, my uncles would make me feel really bad. Like if one of my uncles was sitting on the couch and I came and sat down on the couch, they would lean over like the couch lifted up because I was so fat, and they would tell me that I should
That's horrible.
that I should be a nun because I'm never going to get none because nobody likes a fat girl. I mean,
Right.
just,
And we now know that's not true.
that is not true because bitches love my big ass.
Thank you.
These-
That girl's cuddle better. Okay.
Right. I can cook. I can fucking, everything.
Right.
So fuck you.
Yeah.
But I think so. I've had those discussions with Sophia, bringing it up to me.
Okay.
Because for a while there, she did get a little chunky. And then when she hit about, she was 18. From about 17 to 18, she got a little bit chunkier.
Yeah.
And she really didn't care. She was
Yeah.
just like, I don't care. I'm still cute. Fuck you. But now it's like a thing with her because when she's gonna be mad I'm saying this, but when she got mono
Yeah.
in October, I mean, she was fucked up from the mono. She, in those 2 weeks, she lost like 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Good.
She lost a ton of weight, and now her stomach is completely flat.
Yeah.
She's, you guys know how she's
Yeah.
built now. Jesus Christ.
She's built like Jessica Rabbit.
She is. She's built
Yeah.
like Jessica Rabbit. It's disturbing. Anyways,
Her body is beautiful. We are not body shaming.
we're not body
her.
shaming
But
her.
from her mother's
From
perspective.
her mother-
but for me, I'm just like, holy shit, look what I did. Oh God. But a couple of weeks ago, I guess she had gained like maybe 5 or 7 pounds.
Yeah.
And so a couple of weeks ago, she started.
Might have been the pizza and the breadsticks and the wings and the
right,
soda
right,
at 11
because
o'clock
she
at
does
night.
this, because she works so much, and so she eats at weird times sometimes. But whatever. But she did for like 2 weeks. For like 2 weeks, she did intermittent fasting. And I was like, Sophia, those gimmicks do not work.
They
You
don't
just
work.
have to
Yeah.
watch what you're eating, honey.
Right.
I said, and honestly, I think you look fine. You're beautiful just the way you are. But watch what you're eating. I said, you see, I drink, how much water do I drink?
Right.
I said, I drink so much water every day. I don't eat a lot of carbs. I eat a lot of protein,
Right.
like nuts and stuff like that for my snacks, sesame sticks, cucumbers,
Right.
things.
Yeah.
I said, and if you want to snack at night, don't carb load.
Right.
So did she
Because-
finally understand that?
I
or-
mean, she does, but she's 19, almost 20, so
Right.
mom doesn't know shit.
yeah, you can't talk to her yet.
You can't tell me you can't tell her any goddamn
Wait until
thing.
she gets to 25, 26.
Right,
Then you can start talking to her.
Yeah, but I think with Soph, I've always been very, with both of the kids really, because Avery's a big ass dude.
Right.
And a couple of weeks ago, I even had a conversation with him because he's up to like 370. And I was like, honey, you're scaring me.
Right.
You're scaring me. I said, I can't remember a time where I weighed less than you.
Right.
I said, I'm not even close to 300 anymore. And now you're almost at 400.
Wow.
I said, so
Because he was a big guy. Just
he's just always been a
yeah,
big
just
guy.
like when he's at a good weight, he's a big guy.
Even at it's such a fine line, I think, especially when you're dealing with girls. I mean,
Right.
boys
Yeah.
too,
Right.
but at that age, especially at her age.
Right.
So I've always made it a point to just be like, you know what? It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's how
Right.
you feel. And I've always been big, and I've always been the kind of person that dresses and does,
Right.
because that's always because I know I'm big, and I don't want anybody to say shit else. You know what? Yeah, I'm fat. That's the only thing you have to say about me. Bitch, I look good, though. I look fucking good.
Bitch, I have
Right.
a scale, a mirror, and a mother, but I know how to dress.
Right,
Fuck
so
off.
fuck you.
I'm aware I'm fat.
And if that's the biggest thing that you come away from me getting, then fuck off. And I've always been like, you know what? So it's where you feel comfortable.
Oh, I think we interrupted. Like, what was the
But
end of
what
this?
is she like? Yeah, I know,
Sorry.
right? Is she like? Does she
Well,
just do it when she gets stressed out? Does she
No,
just do it?
it's just constant. Like, when I try to.
What was her response when you said like the queso thing?
Well, she was like, well, no, that makes sense, blah, blah, blah. But then 30 seconds later, it seems like she's like, well, is it time for dessert yet? And I'm like, baby, you just
had
ate dinner.
you know what's interesting? When TJ went on the trip with, because TJ friggin' lit. Like, yes, he spends a lot of time on the tablet and on the computer, but when he's home, he lives on that trampoline. Like, He is jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping constantly. I'll tell you what, he came back after that 2 weeks with my parents traveling to Ohio and back, and he was a little chunker.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Yes, he was running around and doing all kinds of stuff. And granted, they were eating a lot of fast food because they
Right.
were traveling.
Yeah.
But seeing
Still.
how chunky he was in just that 2 weeks when he got back and not jumping on that trampoline, I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, so I just like, I don't know. I try to cook fairly decent meals. Like I don't, I don't take them out to eat a lot. I try to make balanced meals. Like she loves eating salads and stuff, and I love embracing that. And it just seems like no matter what she eats, she's always still hungry. And I feel like she's still fairly...
She's growing,
right.
too.
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, she's 10 years old, and I keep reminding her, you're still growing. She still goes through phases where sometimes she's not hungry at all, and then all of a sudden she's like, I can't get enough to eat. And it's like, I don't want to keep... I feel like if I over-remind her, like, hey, remember how you felt in
then
this
it
circumstance.
causes,
Then you're going to give her an eating disorder.
And
Right.
I think whenever Sophia was around that age, I'm trying to remember back when Sophia was around that age, she had like a little pudgy baby belly. And then one day we
She just
woke up and we were like, holy shit, like, like it all spread out
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are not that lucky. Like it did not happen to me. So you never know. And so I always try to remind them too, like, remember, I'm a big girl.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
big. You come from big pants people.
Right.
We gotta be careful.
We're going to wrap this one up. I do have one quick funny story. Let's
Okay.
skip the Letitia Stouch.
There aren't really any updates.
Yeah.
Everything's in limbo right now,
Yeah.
waiting on her stupid evaluation. So
Yeah, and there's not really an update on Lori Vallow. So
Okay.
I will tell this quick story that's let's talk about Uvalde real quick. I don't really want to end on a sad note. So let's talk about this and then I'll tell the funny story of George. Because this was quite hilarious. At least to me. I found it funny. But y'all emailed us a lot asking us to talk about Uvalde and the murder of 19 children and 2 teachers. And quite frankly, that story is just too goddamn heartbreaking to talk. It hurts my soul. And seeing the fucking video that was released, whoever that motherfucker was who used the hand sanitizer while he was while he was listening to children be murdered, standing in the hallway, you in particular, I do not like. Okay, but we'll get stuck on this topic for hours, but this is just a quick statement because so many of you asked. So here's the one thing we'll say. Our hearts break for that community. Our souls absolutely rage at those police officers and, of course, the shooter himself. I don't want to get into the gun debate other than one statement. If anyone can buy a weapon that makes a platoon of police officers afraid to stop one man from slaughtering babies, maybe it shouldn't be so easy to get that gun. But for my mental health, that's all I'm going to say.
There you go.
That's all we're going to say about Uvalde. Last funny little story. So the other day, it was like a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago, we were looking at the weather. Now, weather in Colorado is stupid. Okay? It makes no sense. We don't even call them weathermen. We call them weather guessers. They don't know because whatever the forecast is, who fucking knows? And it can change throughout the day. For 15 minutes, it can be a monsoon, and then all of a sudden it's 1,000,000 degrees. It makes no sense. But the other day, we were looking at the National Weather Report. The National Weather Report said it was going to be 86 degrees. The local weather report said it was going to be 79. And we were like, what? Okay, that's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
Like, okay, could we get close? Or no, it was going to be 87. I apologize. So 87, 79. And I said, and George was like, that's an 8-degree difference. It only takes 7 degrees to get to Kevin Bacon.
Shut up. Oh my God.
And then I went, honey, it's 6
6
degrees of
degrees, yeah.
separation. And he went, see, it's even worse.
Fucking George.
one of those moments in a marriage that you just laugh your ass off at your partner because he didn't like, oh, I was wrong. He rolled with it and he committed to it. And he was like, see, it's even worse. I was like,
Oh my God.
fuck.
That's fantastic.
I love those little moments in a marriage.
Heck
Anyway,
yeah.
so that is going to wrap up our return of the Parent Memoirs, our little threesome episode. We're going to do a Q's and Cucumber and then a crossover episode. So make sure to keep sending those emails and stories to theparentmemoirs@yahoo.com. And until next time, I'm Lara Mack.
I'm Jessica James.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
Love your faces.
Keep it sane.
Smooches.
There we go.
The fuck.
Sorry. It's okay.
Hey, Parent Peeps. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or on your favorite podcasting platform. Stay strong, mommies and daddies. Love your faces.